The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us. Here we are, show number 608. And as always, I like to remind you, check out the website where you can see this show, see the guests on the YouTube videos, or access past shows simply by going to Radio Bill, that's the YouTube channel, or stewart.com/radio. So we have some great real estate professionals right here on the show today. Once again, I am your host, Bill Knapik. Let's get down to business as we welcome broker-owner Jean Risha Mitchell. She is the broker-owner of Trilogy. Jean, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you for having me back again.
Well, here we are. It's been a while, but the interesting thing is real estate is always changing.
Always.
So it's probably changed even quite a bit since we saw you last time. So first of all, let's tell people about your company, Trilogy Realty Group.
Trilogy Realty Group, yes. We're a small boutique firm, I guess you would say. The name came because it started out with 3 people, and it just came to me, Trilogy 3. So that's how I came up with the name. I wasn't going to name it Mitchell Realty or that sort of thing. And I still have the original 3, and we've added some more agents. We work all over the place, but Montrose, Heights, Memorial, Spring Branch, Humble, the Woodlands, Pearland, all of that sort of thing, the Houston metropolitan area. And we're known for customer service, to be perfectly honest. I know everybody says that, but we really do put the client first. And that's our motto: service, sincerity, and satisfaction. So if you ask a question, we'll tell you the truth. Hopefully you want to hear it.
And I would imagine, too, and I'm not a realtor, but if I'm a realtor and I'm out there walking around and I meet someone the first time, because I'm going to ask you the question probably most people ask you if you're in the store, you engage with someone, hey, you're in real estate. How's the market? So let's start there.
Absolutely. Well, in real estate, our kind of benchmark is 2019. That was before COVID hit, when everything went crazy. And we're back to normal and actually doing a little slightly better than normal. So that's a very good thing, because not every city and not every state can say that at all. So Texas has traditionally been ahead of the pack, and we still are, thank goodness. In fact, I went to see Dr. Ted Jones speak last week for the Houston Mortgage Brokers Association. And he, to me, I love hearing him speak. He is knows everything. And he said, according to U-Haul, Texas is the #1 growth state. So we have a lot of people coming in. That's good for real estate. People have to have places to live. That means jobs are growing. I think it's fabulous. And he thought that we're in a very good place right now.
Yeah, a lot of people are taking the one-way U-Haul and dropping it right off here in Houston, Texas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are a few other states doing well, but Texas is #1.
Well, that's awesome. So as far as let's take now, as the broker, you have, as you mentioned, several agents out there, but also you're helping buyers and sellers as well.
Absolutely.
So give us an idea in the last maybe 10 transactions that you've been a part of. Geographically, where have you been?
I've worked a lot myself, a lot in Memorial in some of the Spring Branch area, but there's a lot of activity with people moving in the spring. People were moving, wanting to sell their house, getting ready to go to the next school district. So that's what I think really prompts the spring market. People want to sell, pack up, move, get ready for the next school year. So I had a lot of that, people listing their homes. We had several situations where there were multiple offers, so the market's still good. In fact, according to HAR, the listings are kind of flat right now. There are a lot of showings, but not as many closings, so it's still good if you're a seller. Get your home on the market, price it intelligently. Don't price it like it was COVID. That's not going to happen. Price it intelligently. If your house is in good shape, it's going to sell. So then we have a lot of closings, usually in June and July, and people settle in and get ready for the school year.
And for those, and the interesting thing, I don't know that it's different than in any other city, but because I know and you know, and a lot of people listening know, but a lot of people listening don't. Houston has so many areas: Memorial, Spring Branch, the Heights, So let's describe though, because Memorial is one of the nice places, certainly right up here, uptown Houston, where we're at recording. But let's tell people, if they are from afar, Indiana, Pennsylvania, they hear about Memorial. Let's paint a picture, Gene, of what the Memorial area is that you've been around here, at least recently.
Well, I agree with you 100%. You can't say how's the market in Houston because there are so many markets in Houston because we're so big.
And they're all different, and that's kind of makes it exciting.
They're all different. I think we are now the third largest city in the States. I believe we graduated to that. Don't hold me to that, but I believe that's what I heard. Memorial is typically 7702 zip code. We have West Memorial, 77079. This is an area that is comprised of Spring Branch ISD, very popular school district, and I think that's what makes the area so popular. It's beautifully located. You can get anywhere. Of course, we're known for our freeways, but it's easy access to shops, restaurants. It's a sought-after area. I also love that, and people coming into this state that don't know the area, Houston has trees. We have a lot of trees in Memorial. We have a lot of trees in Spring Branch. The further out you get, maybe not as many, but I think that's another thing that attracts people to the area, which I know sounds small, but if you're coming from Missouri or you're coming from the Northeast or the Northwest, you're going to get that same feel by living in the Memorial area. That's kind of what Memorial is. It's pretty much a residential area. You've got the villages you have cities within cities in Houston. That may not be common in most places, but you've got the Memorial villages, and then you've got Houston proper. Outside of that, the Houston metropolitan area covers the Woodlands. It covers Katy. It's Humble, Texas. It's Pearland, Texas. It goes down to Sugar Land, Richmond, Rose. I mean, I could go on and on. So when you're moving to Houston, you really need to do your investigation. You need to get an agent that knows all the different areas so they can tell you, this is what you're looking for. This is the area that I recommend.
And as far as the Memorial area, price points, because it is an attractive area. People like it for a variety of reasons, but let's tell people the price points.
Oh, my goodness.
What do we have to spend? Because a lot of people say, hey, I want to move to the Memorial area. How much money should we bring?
That's another broad question, because you can find a townhome for $150,000 or a condo, and you can find a gorgeous mansion for many millions of dollars. I think there's one on the market now just under $30 million.
In the Memorial area.
In the Memorial area, yeah. So we've got a broad range. We've got a lot of different ways to find you a home depending on what it is that you're looking for. Now, obviously, if you can't afford a multi-million-dollar home, there are other homes. They're probably around $600,000 and up, unless you go to a townhome or a condo. But we have some very affordable townhomes and condos, and I hate that people often forget about those.
Right. Well, they are options for people that want to be in the area. And the other thing I like about the Memorial area, it's easy to get a lot lot of places. You want to go downtown, anywhere. You want to go north.
South,
it's really
west,
nice,
east. Yeah, absolutely. And another thing in Houston, which we have loops. Originally, it was the loop, and it went around the city, and then we got bigger, and now we have Beltway 8, and now we have 99. So from Memorial, you can get to just any of those loops, so to speak, and get from north to south, east to west, usually pretty easily.
No doubt about it. Houston is like the planet Saturn. We have rings that just from inside, outside. And
multiple rings.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun like that. But let me tell you, as you know, those rings help you get places, especially when we're talking about the newest outer ring, which is 99. So that even if you're in Katy, Texas, for those listening that don't know, that's west of the city, direct west. And Memorial is a little closer in, but having that 99 gets you up, south, all over the place. So a lot of great things there. Also, right now, as you're helping people, are you helping more buyers or more sellers in your personal work?
My personal work, sellers. I have a couple of buyers, but a lot of sellers, people wanting to list their homes. And that has been historically the way it goes for me. Not that I necessarily planned it. I help anybody and everybody buying or selling, but I have more listings than buyers.
And also, Jean, let's tell people you've written a book, but you also have a regular podcast going on, a broadcast.
I do. I have a podcast. It's called The Real in Real Estate. It comes out every Wednesday, every other week, and I interview professionals and experts in the industry. So it's not me sitting there telling you about my life. It's me talking to inspectors, to tax people, to mortgage people, appraisers, home warranty company, anything related to real estate. That's what I talk about. And I did this because I am such a believer in education. When you look at my business card, which I have lots of designations after my name because I feel like I can do a better job for my clients if I know more. And being in real estate, there are all different levels of realtors, just like there are all different levels of engineers and lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. So my idea is to educate them, and I do that by bringing experts in the field so they can get the facts and not just talk to the person down the hall and hope that you get the facts. This is really an educational podcast, and I have designed it to be about 25 minutes. And in Houston, I figure you can drive from one listing to another and hear an entire podcast. And those of you not familiar with Houston may not understand that, but getting from one place to another takes a little bit of time here.
So as far as when you coach the seller right now in the various markets that you're working, how do you prepare the seller to sell their home? I mean, what's the normal?
Well, the first thing I do is walk through the home with them, and then I find out what their goal is and what their timeline is. And then I act as a resource for a lot of things. Like I have people that can come in and help you pack. If you've got 3 kids running around the house and full-time job, you can't do it. I can provide lots of resources that they need to get the house ready. The house in this market needs, one, as I said, priced right. And we do that by sitting down and looking at all the homes that have sold recently in your neighborhood that look like yours, the size of yours. Please don't go to various websites and try to figure it out on your own. Realtors are the ones that have the actual sold price. So we go over that. And then I make suggestions as to what we need to do to get the house ready. Does the floor need to be refinished? Do we need to paint? Do the kitchen knobs need to be reattached because the kids have pulled them off? So it's very, very specific to that client. And then I determine what they have the funds to do and what they have the strength to do, quite frankly. I go over the entire process once the home is ready. How do we do the showings? How do we do the open house? What do we do for photos? It's a huge package, and a good listing presentation will take at least an hour if you're really helping your client. But one thing I like to do is let them know I'm a resource there to help them, that it's not everything that they have to do themselves. Price it correctly, make sure it's in good shape, and you really shouldn't have any problem selling your house in today's market.
No problem. We're talking with Jean Risha Mitchell, Trilogy Realty Group. Also, Jean, I mentioned you have a book that you put out. Let's tell people about the book.
Yes.
And then also, where can they find the podcast?
The podcast, The Real in Real Estate, is on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. So you can get it just about anywhere. It's real easy listening, and we have a good time. It's conversational. So even if you're not an agent that wants to learn, you can be a regular person that's not an agent and learn about what inspections involved and how to fight your taxes. Now, for the book, it's called The Top Producers: Steps to Success in Real Estate. And this is for realtors or anyone wanting to grow a business. I actually talked to top producers in the city, found out how they got started, how they went from 0 to 60, and how long it took them. Helpful hints. Some of these I actually used myself this is how I started my business, talking to the top producers. And I still use some of the things I learned today. It's invaluable. I mean, let's find out how they did it. And that's what I did with the book. I then wrote a little follow-up book. It's more of a workbook, taking what they told us and making calendars and checklists so that you can actually take that information from one book and apply it in book number 2.
And where can they get the book?
Amazon. Amazon.com.
Everything is on Amazon.
Everything's on Amazon, except the podcast. It's not on Amazon.
And Jean, let's tell people how they can reach you.
TrilogyRealtyGroup.com. Also, Jean Risha Mitchell 007 at gmail.com. And my number is 713-826-8587. 713-826-8587. Jean Mitchell 007 at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you.
And what 007? That's like 007.
It is. I am a James Bond fan. I know it's corny, but you know what? People remember it.
Gene, thanks for being with us. As we continue, let's talk to Doug Burns. His company is DNB Productions. He's a photographer. Douglas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, here you are. You know, we take pictures here on the show all the time. That's part of the Real Estate Matters experience. And photography plays a role in every profession. And myself, I love taking pictures. So let's tell people, first of all, about your company, DNB.
Yeah, well, DNB Productions, and that's my initials, stands for Douglas Nathaniel Burns, if anyone's actually interested.
They are.
A little bit of trivia. But we're a commercial photography firm. We specialize in helping companies tell their story to their target market. That can be everything from commercial real estate to business to industrial to medical to legal. I've worked in a number of different industries over the years and have just I've built my entire career around a camera.
Well, and I would imagine it's much like real estate. Every job project is going to be different, and it's just the different things you've already mentioned with medical, real estate, and even industrial. Right there's so many things that must have you fascinated on a daily basis as you help people.
It's never the same twice. I love it. It's what gets me up in the morning every day. I never know who I'm going to work with and what opportunities I might have. One day I might be on a factory floor working with guys doing the industrial manufacturing and engineering, the things that make this economy run. The next day I might be in somebody's office working with a politician or celebrity creating content for them. And I've done it. I've worked with everybody from the guys digging the dirt to the guys telling where the dirt should be dug. It's been a fascinating career over the years.
And right here in the big city of Houston too, a lot of opportunity. And geographically speaking, where do you go beyond Houston?
So I'm based here in Houston. I can't call myself a native Houstonian because I wasn't born here, but I did grow up in this town and I've built my career here. I left for a little bit to go to school, but I came back. Houston's a great town. It's a great business town. But I have camera, will travel. I've had the opportunity to travel all over the country with the camera, a little bit internationally with the camera. If a company has a need and I can help them out, I'm happy to hop in my car, get in a plane, and take care of them. We have a lot of international companies based here in Houston. They have a lot of projects that happen on a national basis and regional basis. So it's not uncommon for me to travel to help take care of my clients.
And as you mentioned, you used the term behind the camera. What was it initially? Because this is a profession you love. What brought you into photography, and when did you first discover that, hey, I really like taking pictures of things and people and stuff?
Yeah, so I've had a camera in my hands professionally since my college days, and I really got into it during college. At one point, I thought I was going to be the next Steven Spielberg. And actually did create a little short film that's available out there on YouTube for people who are interested in watching. Got a little bit of international play, but I was never able to make that leap. I also tried acting for a little bit, met my wife on the stage, but the idea of being behind the camera, of creating the story, of telling the story, of crafting an image. And I talk about creating an image and crafting an image more than taking an image. Because at the end of the day, when you're behind that camera, when you're behind that lens, you're making a creative decision about what story it is that you're wanting to tell and how you want that to be perceived. That takes a little bit of thought process, and it's more than just clicking a button.
Well, the old cliche, every picture tells a story, is really true.
You can have 10 photographers at the same location at the same time taking the exact picture of the exact same subject matter, and I guarantee you will have at least 12 different stories. It's totally on to everybody perceives things differently. They say the camera never lies. I'm sorry, camera lies every day.
All the time.
All the time. As a photographer, you decide what goes into that frame, what gets excluded from that frame. You decide on your lens choice. You get to decide on how long that shutter gets to be open. You're making decisions all the time about what that final image is supposed to look like. You get to manipulate things a whole heck of a lot, and then even more so when you start adding lights and modifiers and start creating a scene that probably didn't exist in real life. And there's a lot of fun and creativity to it, but at the same time, if I'm working professionally, I have to keep my client in mind, and I have to think about what it is what's going to serve their needs, what's going to serve their clientele, what's going to help them sell their next project, their next building, their next product, their next service. What can I do to help my client move his business forward?
And then in terms of real estate, what are some of the things that you've done in the real estate world? And we could talk a little bit about the industrial thing, because that's also a big thing here in Houston.
I have gotten the opportunity to work on a few commercial jobs, doing some commercial architectural projects. Those can be a lot of fun because now we're looking at how the architecture lays out, how the light filters through the building, how the public spaces can be enjoyed from various angles, maybe looking at details that are not immediately visible to someone who's just walking in for the first time. That can be fun and exciting for me as an artist to work with. So working with our architects, working with engineering firms to showcase those projects, that's where you'll see me working in the real estate market.
And the buildings tell a story. In fact, I'll tell you that when I first got to Houston I won't tell you when I got here, but I got here a long time ago. But one of the things that's exciting, it architecture and buildings and real estate get you excited when you see the right pieces, so to speak. And I remember when I first came to visit Houston coming down from the airport at 45, and I got on the West Loop. There was a point way back then when you got on that West Loop before you got over here by Post Oak and stuff. There was a rise on 610, and that gave you a glimpse of the Houston skyline. And it gave me got me excited way back then. Unreal.
Yeah, the Houston skyline is one of the more unique skylines, I think, in the country. And it's instantly recognizable to anyone who's even slightly familiar. We have some incredible buildings. Years ago, I had the opportunity to work as part of a crew member on a series of commercials for Zales Diamonds. And we were downtown shooting, and the DP, the director of photography on that project, just pointed the camera upwards. And he was just grabbing pieces of buildings and the reflections off the buildings. And that's when I realized that the architecture of the Houston skyline is so unique and so interesting. To celebrate that is a challenge. Sometimes because we think, it's a modern city, glass and steel, built in the 1970s. I mean, because Houston, it built really in the 1970s when air conditioning became a thing, or maybe the 60s, I should say, when air conditioning really became more viable for commercial buildings. The opportunity to showcase what that can actually look like and the beauty that exists within these buildings downtown, it's a lot of fun to go out and play with.
Like everything else, real estate has changed massively. But as far as photography, give us an idea of what has changed in the last what you were doing 5 years ago and how it's different today or even 10 years ago. What are some of the things, I guess AI, but what?
I'll circle back to the AI thing because it's a conversation that's ongoing right now. I think in every industry, and photography is no stranger to it. But the technological changes that have happened in photography just within my career in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the improvements we've seen, the changes we've seen. I mean, I got started working with celluloid, actual film, in a dark room, the whole 9 yards. What has not changed is the process of creating the image. The capture mechanisms have changed. We went from celluloid and film. Well, and prior to that, we were on glass plate. If you want to go back even 100 years, if you want to go wet plate photography, which still exists as a boutique option. We've gone from these different versions to now we're capturing on digital. We now have cameras that don't even require a physical shutter. They use an electronic shutter. So the method of the technology and of the device that we're using to capture those images have changed. But the artwork, the art form itself hasn't really evolved that much beyond what the individual artists themselves are doing. So it still takes a black box with a nice piece of glass that operates to capture an image, and an operator who understands the difference between ISO, shutter speed, and an f-stop or an aperture. Those techniques really haven't changed at all in the last 100, 150 years or so. But with AI, what has introduced is the idea of being able to create images without ever going out into the field. Now we have the opportunity with a few keystrokes sitting at a computer to create an image that is representation of something that may or may not exist in real life. And this is where the conversation with AI is really happening within my industry, within photography specifically, and within filmmaking and other related industries, is how far do we take that? Because some of the images are really quite good. I'm not going to knock it. They're really incredible. And it's only going to get better. But if you're selling something, if you're selling a service, if you're selling a product, if you're selling a home, what are you really selling? You're selling an authentic piece of real estate there. You need to be authentic with your marketing. You need to be authentic and truthful with the people that you're trying to sell to, so that they know and understand, hey, this house really exists. This is what the floor plan really looks like. The door is actually on the right, not on the left, or it opens a certain way, that the light filters in a certain way at certain times of day. And as much as I can manipulate the light artificially with light stands and artificial lighting and whatnot, the windows don't change, and how that light filters through that window doesn't change. Whereas with an AI, and there's always going to be something a little off with it, because it's an interpretation of reality. It's not being the authentic product that you're trying to showcase and you're trying to sell.
Well, give us an idea. We're talking with Douglas Burns with DNB Production. Who are the people that right now, Douglas, that might be listening that are going to need your services or might have a need? What industries and what do you want them to know? Who are they, first of all?
Oh, well, I love working with people in the industrial space. My favorite people to photograph professionally are not the guys in the offices and the high rises and the 3-piece suits. And I'll do that. I'll go in there. I'll have a great time, and we'll create some great images for those folks. But my favorite people to photograph are the guys on the factory floor, the guys who are cutting and welding and building and working on that floor space that most people don't think is all that creative, and they're the guys who are making that engine run. Celebrating those people, I have a lot of fun with. In fact, I've got a personal project working with first responders doing something very similar to that. I will work with industrial spaces and industrial clients I've done a lot of here recently with e-commerce type photography for people who are making pipe fittings and tube fittings, which is not exactly a sexy product, but it's an important product, especially if you're selling to oil and gas and marine industries. People in the medical space are always a lot of interesting. The technology that we have in Houston, we're talking earlier about Houston
Second
growing.
to none.
Houston's one of the top, if not the top, medical centers in the world. I was about to say in the country, but it's really in the world. Yeah. Because we have people that fly in, very important people that fly in all the time to receive medical care here in the city. There's a lot of new technology happening in medicine, and that needs to be showcased in the, if you'll excuse the pun, in the proper light. And doing that well for editorial purposes, for marketing purposes. That's a lot of fun to work with. But if you're in business, you probably need some sort of marketing, some sort of collateral. I can probably help. One
of the things I think that's changed, I've always been interested in photography. I say always, as a teenager, tape recorders, cameras, all that stuff. I had a Canon AE1 at one point, and I remember some people might remember out there when you went on vacation, you wanted to make sure you had enough film, right? Isn't it great to be digital now? That said, we're all photographers to some degree. Give us maybe 3 tips for those that, and the iPhones I think are incredible. 3 tips when we take our own photography out there.
Oh, look,
for the average bear.
I take a ton of photos on my cell phone. The quality of what a cell phone can do these days is crazy. Really amazing. I will say, and I get this question a lot, what's the best camera to have? The best camera to have, it's a little cliche, but it's the one that you're going to carry. It's the one you're going to have with you. So if that's your cell phone in your back pocket or in your purse, grab your cell phone. If that's a $200, dedicated camera that you can get, learn to use that. Their tools are out there. If it was built in the last 10 to 15 years, it's going to be more than adequate for probably 90% of the people out there. The second big tip that I usually give people is get closer. I guarantee you're not close enough to your subject. Figure out what it is that your subject is, and then clear everything else out of the frame, but that object, that person, that subject matter, so that you're not taking, if you're on vacation, you're not taking a picture from the parking lot. You get as close as possible. You fill the frame with your subject matter. Do those 2 things. I guarantee you'll see a massive improvement in the quality of your photos.
Sounds good. Doug Burns, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Best way to reach me, go onto my website. That's DNB Productions with an S, dnbproductions.com. Or always you can reach out to me. I carry my cell phone pretty much 24/7, 281-844-6084. And if you'll shoot me a text, that's probably better than an actual phone call, because I may be with a client where I can't get to you right away, but I return all text messages within an hour or two. 281-844-6084.
Doug, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Bill. Thanks.
As we continue, let's talk to Saba Imjadian with Kiani Realty right here in Houston, Texas. Hey, Saba, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, you are sitting in the very seat Kiani Komezi sat in just a few weeks ago, and she is the namesake of your company, Kiani Realty.
Absolutely. I loved watching her and Miriam on the show. I mean,
lots of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I wish I was there, so I'm happy to be here today.
Well, you are a real estate professional. You help buyers and sellers, but you also have the unique role to be as one of the managers there to help the brokerages along the way, and you can tell us a little bit about that. But just in the fun sense, I'd imagine it's probably fun working with the team there at Kiani Realty.
Oh man, it's amazing. You know, it's not very common to work with people that you really enjoy being around. The culture at our company is amazing, and having a mentor like Kiani itself is insane to think about. I've always wanted a good mentor to really teach me. When I met Kiani, it was kind of like, it was instantly like a connection with us. And I felt like this woman is going to help me a lot at, getting to where I want to in this industry.
Well, and it's a fascinating industry, no doubt about it. So let's tell people you're helping buyers and sellers, but also you have in your role of helping the team, so to speak. Let's tell people how many agents are on the team and then what you do specifically outside of helping buyers and sellers.
Yes, Bill. Currently, we have 44 agents. We try to keep our numbers at a good size because we don't want to overgrow. And at this point, we can't have the relationships that we have now with our agents. And my role, it's been about 7 months since I've been doing this. And I pretty much try to be as much of Kiani's right hand as possible. I help a lot with trainings. I love training people. I love learning about how different people learn differently. And I love being able to really cater to our agents in a way that they want to be catered to, helping them in ways that they need, not just specifically making it one size fit all. I wear a lot of hats in the brokerage, and I'm very blessed that Kiani, it's no secret that I'm pretty young. So I'm so thankful that
That's
Kiani.
A plus.
Yes. Now it is. At first it was a little bit hard. It was hard to be taken serious per se, but I think it's all in your confidence and your knowledge, and the more you learn and the more confident you become, and the age kind of isn't necessarily a factor anymore. But I like to wear a lot of different hats because I learned so much. From marketing to, like I said, training agents, helping agents when they need help, and just doing a lot of things that are in the back happening. You don't necessarily see it as an agent, but it's the things that happen having a brokerage running in the background. So I love it. I've learned so much in so many different aspects and in such a short amount of time. And I love our agents. I love every single human being that I interact with every day. And
everybody?
I can't even lie to you, Bill.
I love that.
It's just, we have such an amazing team.
That's awesome.
I've managed to, one of the things that was going to be a challenge at first was gaining the agents' trust, for them to come to me if they need something, for them to, ask me a question and not go directly to Kiani. And that was a concern for both Kiani and I in the beginning. All I had to do was just do what I was supposed to do and educate myself as much as possible. And that trust came naturally. If it was an agent that wasn't necessarily comfortable coming to me with a question, if they came to me with something small and I helped them out, and that was a step closer to them trusting me more and really knowing that I am trying my best and making sure that I'm educating myself to be able to help them. So I feel like that was a little bit of a challenge that I knew was going to be a challenge. But to be honest, I didn't do anything special. I just did what I needed to do, and I love our agents. I love everybody I work with.
Also, give us an idea from a marketing standpoint, because one of the things I remember when Kiani was a realtor, and she said, hey, and said it on the show many years ago, and said, I'm going to be interested in being a broker. And my mind was, well, why do you want more responsibility, more classes, maybe more headaches? But anyway, she went on and built the team. But one of the things I think she's done in terms of building the team and in Kiani Realty, how did you get the word from a marketing standpoint? What are the things you're doing, you as a company and maybe individually, that you're doing to get the word out? Because I think you all done a good job, because a lot of people are hearing about you just in really the past couple of years. So what's the marketing
Kiani's handled everything herself for so long, right? Until I pretty much came along, and she is just on go. I don't know how she was doing it all herself, but when I really stepped in, one of the main things we've been really focusing on is social media marketing. We have content days where our agents come to one of our listings. We handle photography, videography, and everything that we need for 2 weeks worth of content, let's say, and we consistently do that. So social media has definitely been one of the top ways that we've really been staying active with. You also have marketing where it's farming neighborhoods, and not specifically farming for a specific agent. It's farming the brokerage where, these are leads that come into the brokerage and go where they need to go. But I would also say having connections. Our agents are out there. They are networking. They are meeting people. I mean, you had Miriam on the show the other day, and I think all of that together is just really helping put us in front of people more.
When we talk about social media, that covers so many bases. And there are, I think, some platforms come and go in terms of popularity, but Facebook is one we use just to post the segments on the show. So we use that here. But I imagine you use Facebook. And how do you use Facebook? And what other ones are you using?
God, I love Facebook. I don't know
I do too.
You know Kevin, right? With Stewart Title.
He's
Kevin
on the show.
Kevin taught me how to use Facebook.
So good. So he's there. You go.
He taught me how to use Facebook. I mean, because my generation kind of thrifted away from Facebook, and you have mainly Instagram and TikTok and things like that. But one day, I don't know how, but I realized I was like, there's some good things happening on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And I actually got a couple rental clients just from Facebook, and that's when I realized this is good to be on there. But our Kiani Realty Instagram is connected to our Facebook as well. And when we post, it does go on there. And I personally am in a lot of Facebook groups because I think you're kind of narrowing down your audience with groups and things like that. So we try to find our audience and go towards them and
wherever they're at,
basically. Yes. But like you said, there's so much when it comes to social media. It's not just Instagram. It's not just Facebook. You have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter. It can go on.
And you said something a minute or so ago about what content days?
Yes.
Was that the term you used?
Yes.
What are those?
So
can I come?
Yes, we would love to have you. Yes. So what we do is I pick a listing. Sometimes it's not even our listings. It might be a friend of ours listings. And we have a team group chat where we communicate through there. I'll let them know, content day, this day from this time to this time. And what I actually do is I prepare scripts. I prepare pretty much exactly how the day is going to go, because I think one of the things agents struggle with is knowing what to talk about. So I'll let my agents know this is buyer
as far
focus.
as their content that they're putting out there.
Yes, exactly. So I'll have scripts that I'll send to them the day before, and you'll have buyers, you'll have sellers, you'll have rentals, because everyone has a different audience. Right? If you're a buyer-focused agent, you don't want to always make content towards sellers. You want to make it towards who your niche is. And so we get together. Rafi is Kiani's husband. He is amazing. He's my videographer, actually. And so we get together on content days. We get so much footage and everything. And I actually edit all of the videos myself. I schedule them to be posted. So easy, Bill. So easy. That's just how our content day goes.
Content? What is it? A certain day of the week?
Usually we do them on a weekend. It'll just kind of be random when people are mostly available. Sometimes I'll send a poll. I'm like, what days works best with you guys? And of course, it's not going to be all 44 of our agents coming to content. I mean, I don't think I could handle that myself, but we'll always have a good amount coming and just really going out of their comfort zone in front of a camera.
And now that you mention it, as I think about the numbers of the 40-some agents that you have in the text to get you here on the show, we did a lot of work just to get you here today, Saba, right?
Yeah.
So we're glad that you're here. But Kiani said something like to make sure people knew that you're also adding to the team. Is that correct?
Yes.
So someone might be listening and say, well, I heard about this company. Maybe I should talk to Saba about this or
yes.
Kiani.
Absolutely. We are growing, and our goal, Bill, is to add around 8 agents by the end
8
of
more.
the year. 8 more, yes.
They got to be
And
right, the right ones.
the right ones. And, when I interview agents, one of the things I like to make very clear is that this is a mutual interview. With a lot of other brokerages, they really are the ones interviewing the broker only. But for us, we have to make sure that they're the right fit for us, that they fit our culture, and they're serious about what they're talking about. Because if we don't, it can be a huge loss for us in the long run if we pick the wrong.
Right.
Got to be right. And so right now we are looking for 8 more agents to join the team. We would prefer someone that has been in the business for a year at least and is willing to learn. I think once you hit that 1-year mark, at some point you can feel a little discouraged. You can feel like you haven't learned as much as you needed to, or whatever the case may be. I feel like the way our system works, it's perfect for those who really need that extra attention.
A lot of people have real estate licenses here in Texas and certainly here in Houston.
Oh, yeah.
So to find the right person, I think, is a big deal to make it fit, production, all those things.
But there is a lot of license holders in Texas.
Right.
But I think that it's a very small percentage of agents that are really, really good at what they do. And it has different aspects to it. But I think that for us right now, it's more about picking someone that is willing to learn and grow. It's not necessarily someone that's, already a top producer somewhere. We're willing to invest in our agents, and we want them to want the same for themselves as well.
Sometimes the TV shows just make it look easy, and it is anything but easy. You have to be the right person, whether you're in Houston, Texas, or anywhere else. We're talking with Saba. I'm Jadian.
Yes.
With Kiani Realty. Okay, Saba, business. We covered that. But what do you do to unwind? You got a lot of things. You're helping buyers and sellers in the real estate world. You're helping the team and Kiani. When you're not in the real estate world, what do you do to unwind?
I love to fish. Bill, fishing is my thing right now. It is just...
Fishing's like real estate, though. There's
Listen,
some parallels.
It teaches you patience. That is what and Kiani's aware of my fishing addiction right now. And I'm showing her pictures every day. I'm like, look what I caught yesterday. But it teaches you so much about patience, because you need patience in every aspect of real estate, whether you're an agent, whether you're a manager, whether you're a broker. And, some days I go fishing, I fish for 3 hours and I don't catch a single thing. The next day I go and I'm catching everything. So I feel like in some ways they're like parallel to each other somehow.
Yeah.
But it is my thing right now, Bill.
Go back to the time where you're sitting there 3 hours. You didn't catch a fish, but the mind is always working.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that gives you time to think about things and be patient, all that. What's happening in the mind when you're when you're not catching the fish?
I'm just thinking about the fish.
And they're thinking, I don't want you to catch me.
Just thinking about the fish. It's really one of those outlets. Of course, working out also. It's when you just want to shut your mind off when it comes to work. Working out is one of the best ways. But I think for me, somehow I get to sit in silence. Line is not moving. It's nothing happening, but somehow still keep my mind on what's happening around me right now and putting my attention intentionally on what I'm doing instead of just it being everywhere. Because if you let your mind go loose when you're in this industry, it can take you to places you don't want to go to.
Well, it sounds good.
I would like to say that, we have a very high quitting rate in real estate. It's not a lot.
Generally speaking.
Generally
Right,
speaking,
yeah. Because a lot of
you
people try it and then they give up.
exactly, and it's not easy because it's not cheap. It costs money to be an agent, whether you're paying your broker, whoever you're paying, you still have to pay
A lot of nickel
HAR.
and diming going on in real estate.
A
You
lot.
have a lot of fees, but when I mean that, right? You have this fee, that fee, $25, $100, $200, right?
And it all adds up. And,
Yes, it does.
sometimes it sneaks in that it's not transparent for us. When I personally joined real estate, I was 20 years old. I didn't have, $200 a month to give. I was trying to mainly learn. And when I came to Kiani, I was so shocked because she was like, you don't pay us until you make money. And I was like, really? Are you sure? Is it going to sneak up in my checks here and there? And that was the type of transparency that I just fell in love with. And I feel like it made it so much easier for me to be patient in this industry, to take my time to learn, and the byproduct is going to be money at the end of the day. But it gave me so much room to grow as a person, to grow as an agent. And my tip for newer agents, it would definitely be put where you're going to be in. It has to be intentional. I think that's what prevents agents from getting burnt out and just quitting within the first year, is not being under that much pressure to where if they don't pay their dues this month, they're going to be kicked out of the brokerage. They can really just focus on what they're doing. And I see so many agents that leave too soon. You never know, them the year after could have been their year.
Saba, let's tell people how they can reach you.
You can reach me at my email, Saba, SAHBA, @KianiRealty.com. You can also reach me at my cell, 346-717-4223. 346-717-4223.
Saba, I'm Jadian with Kiani Realty.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
As we continue, Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we'd be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction at Stewart Title. So right here in Houston, we have about 17 or so offices, and we would be there to help you. Simply go to stewart.com. We have great business development people, escrow officers that have handled every kind of real estate transaction. So I say we are right here in Houston, Texas. By the way, we are an international company traded on the stock exchange as STC, and many of you know we started in Galveston, Texas over 130 some years ago. Again, we're not just in Houston, but all over the United States. So wherever you're listening, just check us out at stewart.com. You can find the closest office, closest location, even some great information about what is the title insurance and all those things. A lot of great stuff at stewart.com, the website, but also Stewart Insurance. Other than title insurance, Stewart Insurance is also there to help you all over the United States, providing home, broker E&O insurance, all those great things, cyber liability policies, watercraft, umbrella policies, right there at Stewart Insurance. And to find out the full menu at Stewart Insurance, just go to stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Well, you will be greeted by a real live human being. That's right, provided you call during business hours at 866-798-2827. Imagine that, someone actually picking up the phone and saying hello, Stewart Insurance. So as we continue, we're going to wrap up the show and bring back Jean Risha Mitchell with Trilogy Realty Group. Jean, welcome to the show again.
Thanks, Bill. I would like to remind them again about the podcast because I think it's a very important thing. Education is very important. The Real in Real Estate, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Check it out. I also want to just say quickly, first-time home buyers out there, please don't get discouraged. There's a home out there for you. Stop renting. Put your money into a home, into land, whatever it is. Start making the money work for you rather than your landlord. You don't have to start out with $1 million house. Start out with a townhouse. Start out with a condo. Start out with something. So that's what I wanted to say.
And I like that the podcast, Jean, The Real in Real Estate. That has a nice groove to it right there. The Real in Real Estate.
Thank you. Well, we get real and we talk to the real people that are involved in real estate. It's not hearsay. It's from the horse's mouth, so to speak, which is what I love.
And you're right here on Real Estate Matters.
That's right.
Everything's real. So real.
It's real.
Jean, let's tell people how they can reach you at Trilogy Realty Group.
My number is 713-826-8587. Again, 713-826-8587. Trilogy Realty Group, tx.com. And my email, jeanmitchell007@gmail.com.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
He's back. Douglas Burns, DNB Productions. That's right. Master with a camera. He's taking pictures all the time, doing tremendous work here in Houston, Texas, and even beyond. Doug, welcome back to the show.
Bill, this has been an absolute pleasure, and I've had a ton of fun.
Well, we're glad. That's one of our main goals. Have a little bit of fun, and because if we're having fun, the people listening, wherever they are going to have a little bit of fun and maybe get something, maybe even some inspiration along the way. So
everybody's in business. Everybody who's in business is in some kind of sales. And I think that is something people tend to forget. Whether you are selling real estate or you are the person who's answering the phone, if you are the person on the front line or you are the person in the boardroom, everybody's in sales. And you should have photography and marketing collateral that supports that. Whether that's showcasing your business, your products or your services, your real estate, your commercial property, or even showcasing the people themselves. I do headshots for a number of companies. I make it really, really easy. I come out to the company. We have a headshot day. We take care of everybody at one time. And the really nice thing about this is everybody's consistent. There's no inconsistency. No one's using selfies from their vacation at Disney World or the beach. It's a nice professional image that you're presenting to the world as part of, and that's just one of the things that we do at our office. But we make it easy because we come out to the business and do a setup there and build the studio there on location, and try to make it super simple for everybody. That's one of the biggest things that we do. Best place to do that is on the website at dnbproductions.com, where you can see and read all about our commercial photography and headshot services. Or you can always call me, or even better, text me at 281-844-6084. 281-844-6084.
good to see you, Doug.
Thanks so much.
And now she's back. Saba. I'm Jadian with Kiani Realty. Saba, it seems like we just talked just a few minutes ago, and here you are again. So here we are, Saba. You and I, we're closing the show down, landing the plane, bringing the ship, the boat, after we're done fishing, into the dock. So what else should we know?
I think the last thing that I want to say is mainly to the agents, is that sometimes it really just is your environment, and to really be somewhere that you are valued and you are being invested in. And that's something that I'm so proud about our brokerage. And it's something that Kiani doesn't plan on changing either. At the bigger we get, is that our main priority is investing in our agents, is making sure they have all of the resources that they need, is making sure that they have the knowledge that they need to navigate through this business. We never want our agents to feel like they are just blind going through these deals. And I think we've done an amazing job at coordinating everything together. I'm on call pretty much Monday through Friday. She takes over the weekends.
What if you're fishing?
See, I only fish when I'm off. Then it's Kiani who will answer your calls.
So I know people are listening. You're fishing. Sometimes you catch some, like every fisher person. Now, when you catch a fish, do you also cook? Can you cook the fish? What kind do you catch that you like to eat the best?
I catch a lot of bass. Bass are friends, not food. So we don't eat the bass. If I do saltwater fishing, then that's the fish. Those are the fish that are good to eat.
To be continued. Saba, let's tell people how they could reach you.
Yes, best way to reach me is you can call or text me 346-717-4223. 346-717-4223.
And I'm going to always remember that. Bass are friends.
Bass are friends, not food.
I've never heard that before.
Really?
But I'm not a fisherman, so thank you, Saba, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Together with all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, thank you for listening to the show. I know you want to see the guests here, and not just hear them. You can see the guest by going to stewart.com/radio. That's right. We have all kind of great special effects, car chases. Just check it out at stewart.com/radio, or simply go to Radio Bill. That's Radio Bill on YouTube. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.